building a database for your farming area and for all the other people that are doing business with you. I've created an Excel sheet for you guys, and it's just to give you an idea of what information you need and what you might want to put into it. Now, this is just a plain old Excel sheet. Preferably you want to use a CRM, but if you're not there yet, then at least start putting the data in somewhere. The first section I want to point out to you is the legend section, and that is just how are you going to group these properties that you're going to add in for your farming area. And in this case, mine, I just said full title is going to be black, sectional title is green, vacant land blue, and commercial purple. Then when I add a property into that and I make it purple, I know exactly just by looking at it, that particular property is commercial. I'm just going to take you through each of these steps, what they mean, and then we're going to show you how to start populating it. Total number is the number of units or properties in your entire area, and that you will add at the end so that you know exactly how many properties you have. Then the total street is every street is going to have their total number. So if this street name is Main Road, for example, and there's only 4 properties in Main Road, then it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the next street might be Church Street, and then it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just an easier way for you to know which are the bigger streets, which are the smaller streets. And let's say you know that a property is, if you're looking for a property and the property is number 24, and you know that you only have 5 streets that's got more than 20 units, and you know the property is going to have to be in one of those streets. The earth numbers, where you're going to place it in here. Street number, obviously very easy, 14, and then a name, Main Road. And then if it's a sectional title, you can put in the complex number and the complex name. Then what we've got here is the years bought or the year registered. And the reason why I added that in there is that when we looked at our previous module, we spoke about knowing how long someone has lived in the area. So if we know these people bought in, let's say, 2001, for example, then by taking this and putting this sum in, we're going to go equal. We're going to take the current year, which let's say for now is 224, and we're going to go minus this one. Then you can see that they've owned the property for 23 years. So when you start filtering to say, show me properties over this amount of years, it'll be easier for you to filter. And all you would need to do for the year following is you would just go and need to change the year updated, and it will change to the relevant one. Then you want the sales date. That is just to give you an indication of when they bought it, and you also want that date to show when the anniversary is. So the sales date and the anniversary date might be different. The sales date is when they made the offer, and the registration date is when registration took place. So when we celebrate them to say you've lived in your property for a year or 2 years, we use this anniversary date, which is your registration date. Then the sales price, we want to know the stand size and the stand per square meter. So let's say the stand size is 1,000 in this case. They bought the property for $1 million. Then what we are going to do is we want to know what is rand per square meter. So then you're going to say equals, and you're going to go the price divided by the stand size. And it's going to give you 1,000 rand per square meter. If we change this and we say, okay, it's 1.5 million, then it's 1,500 per square meter. Then you want to do the same thing over here. The size of the property is, let's say, 230, and we know that's the sale price. So what is the price per square meter? We go equal the rand value divided by the property size under roof, and then we will see, okay, it's 6,500 per square meter. And then we can just make the decimal shorter, and there we go, it's around 6.5 per square meter. And the reason you want to do that is when we start looking at the one-page pricing tool, you want the property size when it comes to actually pricing the property. And then just a couple of notes that you want to add in there. And then we've just added for you owner name, owner ID, gender, if that's something that you want to keep, year born, age, birthday, and month. And the reason we just split this is if you want to wish someone a happy birthday in January, for example, and you've added the month separately, it just becomes easier for you to filter it. But if you're using a CRM system, then you just need to fill in all the available data that the CRM is providing for you. Now, the full title one is exactly the same, but we just took out the sectional title, and then we've got the sectional title one. The majority of you probably only going to use the entire one because you are going to change the colors according to there. But in case you wanted to, I gave you those extra ones as well. This sheet is your street names and your sectional title names and how many units on each of them. So all you're going to do on this section is you're going to write down the street name, how many full titles they have, how many sectional title, vacant land, and commercial. So let's say this particular one is Main Road, and there are 22 full titles, there are 43 sectional title and 2 vacant stands, and there's 0 commercials. Then for total for that street unit, you're going to go equal, you're going to click on the 1, plus, next one, plus, next one, plus, last one, and there you go. It gives you the total for that particular street. And now when you look at this, you'll know exactly how many units is in a street. Then on the sectional title side, what we have over here is you're just going to say how many complexes you have. This first complex is, let's say, Bird Complex, and there are 44 units in that particular complex. And the total then would just be the 44. Then the next one might be, let's say, go Dark Complex, and there are 78 units in that one. And as you number them, by the end of this, you'll know exactly how many complexes you have in your particular area. And then all you're going to do there is you're going to equal, you want the previous total plus the new total is going to give you what the total sectional title units are in your area. So by the time you get to the end of this, let's say we just copy and paste this all the way down, and we just took this and you just drag it down to copy and paste it. In this scenario, you will then have 14 complexes with a total of 800 units in those particular complexes. Now, why do you want to know this? Well, basically, if you see that there is a sectional title unit that is on the market and it's number 100, then you would know exactly, can't be in that complex, can't be in that complex, can't be in that complex. Let's say only this one has got 110 units. Then you know that that property has to be in that particular area. Same with if you see that it is 45, can't be there, can't be there, can't be there. So it makes it easier for you to know how big the complexes are when you start looking for properties as well. And then the last one that I've created for you is the stats. And this is just to give you an idea of what is going on in your area and how many properties sell in your particular area. If we look at the Lightstone report we did in the previous module, remember it said how many units there were in the full title estates, sectional title estates, full title and sectional title, and I put the abbreviations on top there for you as well. So then you're just going to complete that, and I've already added the formula in there for you where it'll add those up. And now you'll see that the total units in this area is 1,636. Then in the year, all you're going to do is just keep on adding up how many properties has sold. And in this case, you would be able to go and you would be able to change this year to whatever is the current year for now. And then you'll see that 6.17% of the properties in Atlasville sell a year. Now, anything between 4 to 7% is a really good number, which means that it is a profitable area. And then we just duplicate it there for you to do another year. So all you have to do as the time goes past, you just copy it and then you paste it onto the next one, and you will be able to gather all the yearly stuff. So now you understand what the Excel sheet is about, and you're probably asking, okay, great, I now know where to put it, but where do I actually find the information that I need? The first thing that you're going to do is you are going to just go to Google and search whatever your municipality is with valuation roll. And once you search that, it's normally the first one that's going to come up, but you're going to have to go and play around based on your municipality. Then you're just simply going to find the one that there is, In this case, it's very easy. It opens it up for us and it tells us when last it was uploaded. So there isn't a place where all the data will always be 100% accurate. The aim is to start somewhere and to build it as you go. Because remember, it's building a database, it's not receiving a database. If you don't put everything together and build it yourself, you won't have the content that you need. So in this particular case, we're just going to scroll down and look for what particular area you want. Let's say in this scenario, we want Boksburg. We're just going to click on the download button and there it is downloading it for us. Now we've opened it and you see that all the properties are there. You'll see the township, which means that is the neighborhood, the suburb that they are in. You can see the earth number. It's there for you as well. Maybe let me just make it a bit bigger for you so that you can see better. There we go. It tells you how many portions there is. It tells you the street name. So there we go. We know it's Bronkhorst Road, street number 1 and the area. We know who the owner is. Now remember, depending on when you download this, if your property, let's say the valuation is a year or 2 years old and your area sells 100 properties a year, 200 of those 1,000 or 2,000 might not be accurate, but that still means over 800 is. It tells you the size of the land. It tells you what the zoning is. In this particular one is agricultural. This one's a vacant land. This one's residential. This one is business and commercial. So now you know exactly what zoning this has as well. And this market value that you see over here is the municipality value, what they use to work out what your rates and taxes are. So now you can go and you can just Control F or Command F, depending on whether you're a Mac or a PC. And then you are going to search for your particular area. Now remember when we went to this one, there were 2 or 3 Boksburgs. So you might have to download a few of them to get the right suburb that you are in. Or just keep all of them depending on what it is. We're going to go Control F. Okay, and let's just see if we want to find out, let's say, who's got a trust. So I'm just going to put in trust, and there it shows me all the properties that is owned by a trust. Tarkin Family Trust. We can go to the next one. There you see all the properties that are owned by a trust. Now let's say my particular area is Sunwood Park. Let's just say that's the area. So I'm going to search Sunwood Park, and that's the first place it's going to show up there for me. Now all that I have to do is I now have to go and copy this sheet, all the whatever it is, where Sunwood Park ends. So let's say it's all the way over there. You're simply going to go and copy it. You're going to come back to your Excel sheet. We saw that the layout might be different. So if you wanted to, you could change these sections. So it's just an easy to copy and paste. But in case it's not, you can just open up a new tab and then you can go and paste it. And there you already have the earth number for the property, you have the address, you have the owner details, the stand size, the zoning, as well as the valuation roll. And now if you do that for your particular area, in less than 5 minutes, you have every single property in your database. And 80% of the owners will still be correct. Now all you have to do is start sourcing the phone numbers and the emails and getting in contact with the sellers, but at least you have a great place to start. And again, you just have to go and play around depending on your particular municipality, but generally if you just Google it, you will be able to find it. The next thing you might ask is, okay, you spoke about the street names. How do I go about in getting all the street names? An easy way to do that, so in Property 24, you're going to search your particular area. And once you hit search, you're going to see every single listing that is available. So in the previous module, you took all those listings and you started adding them to your listing files. But now you want to start building your database. You want to know what are the streets in that particular area. Then what you're going to go is you're going to go to for sale, and you're just going to scroll down until you get sold prices. When you click on sold prices, then what it shows you every street in Atlasville. Now all you have to do is copy and paste them, put them in this particular sheet over here, and you know exactly how many streets you have in Atlasville, and when you look at the map you'll be able to see where they are as well. Now what it even gives you even further is if you open up another tab and you click on one of those streets, it'll actually show you where it is, and it will give you an indication of when last those properties were bought and sold. Now there you see that one before 1982, so there wasn't even a price because they only started tracking the prices on Lightstone and Windeed and those things after 1994. So there we see that one sold for $650, 1-2. Now these are all vacant stands, and that's why you can see that their prices are really, really low. But there you go, you can see pretty much everything that you need. So now if I've now copied this and I put that into my database in this section for my street, you even have more data if you didn't want to go to the valuation route. But now if you took the valuation, you put that in there, now you also have the sales prices and the years that you can go and add to your sheet as well. Then what you could also do is if you're going to go back to this section, you're going to go click on sold price, and you're going to go then to estate agencies. Then it will give you a list of every single agency that has got a property in the area that you are working in. So if we look at the screen, we see that Pam Golding has got a total of 355 listings on Prop24, but that they have 11 listings in Atlasville. So that's what we want to look at. How many do they have in Atlasville? Here they have 10 in Atlasville. So you'll be able to see exactly who are the top players in your particular area. So pretty cool, right? There's a lot of information that you can get straight from there. So now you know how to use the sheet. You know where to get the data on the valuation roll. You know how to copy and paste it. You know how to see who the players are in your area. You know how to see what every street is in your particular area. And you know how to go into more detail into all of them. So if we go to another street, for example, there you go. You'll see different sizes, when they sold, at what price. Tons of information that you can already start building your database. And that's where you start. It's never going to be perfect. At least you're going to have 80% of the content that you already need.